I never thought I'd have to defend my home. At my own wife's funeral. That day, I stood before 200 mourners, silent faces, tear-streaked eyes, and in my hand was a phone, a single recording that would change everything. What I'm about to tell you might sound unreal, like something pulled straight from a movie, but I promise you, every word is true, and I can prove it. My name is David. I'm 42 years old, and 3 months ago, I buried the love of my life. Her name was Sarah. She was 39 when she died. But this story isn't just about loss. It's about what happened after her death. At her funeral, it's about betrayal, about greed, and about one final gift. Sarah left me before she was gone. A gift that saved everything I had left. Sarah and I met when we were 24. She was a nurse at St. Mary's Hospital. I was a software engineer with a broken wrist from a skiing accident. She wrapped my cast. And before I left, I asked for her number. 2 years later, we were married. It wasn't a perfect marriage. No marriage is. But it was ours. We laughed together. We fought sometimes. We always found our way back. We built a life. 10 years in, we bought our first house. A small 3-bedroom colonial on Maple Street. Nothing fancy, but it had a backyard, a porch, and a kitchen where we cooked breakfast every Sunday morning. That house became everything to us. We painted every room. We planted a garden. We dreamed about the kids we'd have someday and which room would be the nursery. That home wasn't just walls and paint. It was us. But not everyone saw it that way. Sarah's mother, Patricia, hated that house from day one. She was 67, retired, sharp-tongued, and never really approved of me. I wasn't successful enough, not ambitious enough, not good enough for her daughter. When we bought the house, she said, "You're making a mistake. This neighborhood's going downhill. You should have waited." But Sarah didn't care. She loved that house. She loved our life. For 15 years, we were happy. And then, 18 months ago, everything changed. Sarah started feeling tired all the time. She'd come home from her nursing shifts and fall asleep on the couch before dinner. She lost weight. She had headaches that wouldn't go away. At first, we thought it was just stress. The hospital was short-staffed, and she'd been working double shifts. But then, she found a lump. We went to the doctor together. Tests. A biopsy. More tests. And then the words that shattered everything. Stage 3. Breast cancer. It didn't feel real when the oncologist said it. Sarah just sat there, holding my hand, staring at the wall. I remember driving home that day in complete silence. Neither of us knew what to say. We started treatment immediately: chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. The doctors were optimistic at first. They said she had a good chance. But cancer doesn't care about chances. That's when Patricia, Sarah's mother, started coming around more often. 3, sometimes 4 times a week, bringing food, offering to help with appointments. On the surface, she looked like a caring mother, but I started noticing things. Little comments, little digs. Maybe if you'd pushed for better insurance, she could have gone to a better hospital. Or, if you made more money, she wouldn't have had to work so hard. That stress probably caused this. Sarah would defend me, but it drained her. She was fighting cancer and fighting her mother. 6 months into treatment, the cancer spread. Lungs, liver. The doctors said there was nothing more they could do. Sarah had maybe 6 months left, maybe less. That's when Patricia started talking about the house. It started subtly. Patricia would visit while I was at work. She'd sit with Sarah, and they'd talk. When I came home, Sarah always seemed upset, but she'd never tell me why. Then, one afternoon about 4 months before she died, I came home early. I heard voices coming from the bedroom. Patricia was there, and she was talking about the house. I stood in the hallway, listening. "You know David won't be able to afford this place after you're gone," she said. "The mortgage, the taxes, the upkeep. He'll lose it eventually." Sarah's voice was weak, but defiant. "He'll be fine. It's our house. He loves it." Patricia pressed harder. "But Sarah, be realistic. Wouldn't it be better if I managed things? I could sell the house, put the money somewhere safe for him. You know I'm good with finances." Sarah's tone sharpened. Mom, we've talked about this. The house stays with David. It's in the will. Everything is in the will. There was silence. Then Patricia said something that made my blood run cold. Wills can be contested, sweetheart, especially if someone isn't in their right mind when they make them. You're on a lot of medication right now. People might question your judgment. I almost walked in right then, but Sarah spoke first. Get out. Sarah. I said get out of my house. Now. I heard Patricia leave. The front door closed. I waited a few minutes, then walked into the bedroom, pretending I'd just come home. Sarah was crying. When she saw me, she whispered, David, I need to tell you something. That night, she told me everything. How Patricia had been pressuring her for months, telling her I'd waste the house, that I'd be irresponsible with money, that she should be the one to handle things. Then Sarah said something that stopped me cold. She wants the house. She's always wanted it. She even told her sister once she regretted not buying this place years ago when it was cheaper. I was furious. But Sarah, she was calm. I have a plan, she said. The next day, Patricia came by to apologize. Sarah had her phone hidden on the nightstand recording. She let her mother talk. She asked careful questions. And Patricia admitted everything. When you're gone, she said, I'll make sure things are handled properly. David won't know what to do. I'll step in. I'll sell this house and put him somewhere smaller. Something more manageable, Sarah answered quietly. Mom, that's not your decision to make. And Patricia replied, You won't be here to stop me, sweetheart. And honestly, I think it's what's best. The recording was 12 minutes long. Sarah saved it to the cloud and gave me the password. If she tries anything, she said, use this. Sarah died on a Tuesday morning in February. I was holding her hand. She'd been unconscious for 2 days. But that morning, she opened her eyes just for a moment. She looked at me and whispered, I love you. And then she was gone. The funeral was set for Saturday. I spent those 4 days in a fog, making arrangements, calling people, trying to function. Patricia helped with the planning. She was calm, organized, efficient. For a moment, I thought maybe she'd changed. Maybe she'd realized how cruel she'd been. I was wrong. The funeral was at St. Catherine's Church. 200 people came. Sarah's co-workers, our friends, and family from both sides. It was a beautiful service. People spoke about her kindness, her compassion, the way she could light up a room. I gave a eulogy. I barely remember the words, just the tears, the shaking, and how hard it was to breathe. After the service, we went to the cemetery. The burial was private, just close family. Me, Patricia, Sarah's Aunt Linda, a few cousins. We were standing around the grave when Patricia cleared her throat. I know this isn't the right time, she said, but there's something we need to discuss. About Sarah and David's house. I looked at her. What? Sarah and I talked extensively before she passed. She was very worried about you managing the property alone. The financial burden, the maintenance. She asked me to step in. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That's not true. Patricia smiled that same condescending smile she always had. David, I know you're grieving, but Sarah was very clear with me. She wanted me to sell the house and help you move somewhere more affordable. Sarah's Aunt Linda frowned. Patricia, that doesn't sound like something Sarah would want. Patricia's tone hardened. She was on a lot of medication at the end. She wasn't always thinking clearly. But as her mother, I knew what she really meant. And then she said it. I've already contacted a real estate agent. The house will be listed next month. David, you'll need to be out by April 1st. That gives you 6 weeks. 6 weeks. She was giving me 6 weeks to leave the house Sarah and I had built together. You can't do that, I said quietly. I can, Patricia replied. And I will. I'm doing what's best for everyone. That's when I pulled out my phone. Actually, I said, there's something you should hear. I'd already queued up the recording. I pressed play. At first, people looked confused. Then they heard Sarah's voice. It was from 4 months earlier. Her voice was weak, but clear. Then came Patricia's. When you're gone, I'll make sure things are handled properly. David won't know what to do. Sarah's voice followed, sharp, protective. Mom, that's not your decision to make. Patricia replied, You won't be here to stop me, sweetheart. And honestly, I think it's what's best. I'll sell the house and put him somewhere smaller. I watched Patricia's face as the words echoed through the air. Her expression shifted confusion to shock, to terror. She stammered, That's out of context. But the recording continued. So you're saying, Sarah asked, that after I die you plan to take our house? Patricia's voice came through one last time cold, unflinching. Legal or not, I'll find a way. I always do. The recording ended. Silence. Everyone was staring at Patricia. Then Aunt Linda spoke. Patricia, what the hell is wrong with you? I was just trying to help, Patricia said weakly. I was worried about him. You were trying to steal his house. Linda snapped. At your own daughter's funeral. Patricia looked around. No one would meet her eyes. I pulled out another document. This is Sarah's will, I said, reviewed by our lawyer 2 months before she died. It states that all property, including our house, belongs to me, and there's a clause preventing you from contesting it. Patricia's face went from white to red. You manipulated her, she screamed. You turned my daughter against me. I shook my head. No, you did that yourself. Linda stepped forward. I think you should leave, Patricia. I'm her mother. You're a disgrace. Get out. Now. Patricia looked like she wanted to argue, but when she saw the faces around her, the anger, the disgust, the disappointment, she turned and walked away. She didn't come to the reception. She didn't call. She didn't apologize. I haven't spoken to her since. That was 3 months ago. I still live in the house on Maple Street. Everything is exactly the way Sarah left it. Her book's on the shelf. Her coffee mug is in the kitchen. The garden she planted is still blooming every spring. Some people tell me I should move on, start fresh. But this house is the last piece of Sarah I have. It's where we laughed, where we dreamed, where we lived. Patricia sent a letter last month. I didn't open it. I don't need her explanations. Or her excuses. Sarah protected me, even after she was gone. That recording was her final gift. A way to make sure I'd be okay. I miss her every single day. But I'm grateful. Grateful for the years we had. Grateful for her love. Grateful that she knew me well enough to know I'd need that recording. Some people think what I did at the funeral was cruel. Playing that recording in front of everyone. Humiliating Patricia like that. But Sarah knew her mother. She knew Patricia would try something, and she made sure I had the proof to stop her. I'll never forget the look on Patricia's face when she heard Sarah's voice. That exact moment when she realized she'd been caught. Her own daughter had outsmarted her. Sarah was always smarter than people gave her credit for. I still live in our house. I still cook in our kitchen. I still sit on our porch and remember. And every time I walk through that front door, I think of Sarah, the woman who loved me enough to protect me, even from beyond the grave. That's everything.